We've had Gianni Infantino, Kaveh, tell us this was the best World Cup ever. They wheeled out David Beckham to tell us it was the best World Cup ever. The Qataris have told us it's the best World Cup ever. What do you think?
I think it's been a very strange World Cup. I've been here for almost 5 weeks now. It hasn't really felt like a real World Cup because it has been held in such a small place. Normally when we go to World Cups, we travel around to different cities, go to different places, meet different people. Here, we've been in one place, we've been in one hotel, we go to the same training grounds, the same stadiums. You can get a metro pretty quickly to any ground, any training ground, any news conference. It hasn't felt like a real World Cup because, as far as Western Europe is concerned, I just get the sense that real fans have not been here. I've been to games, for instance, the semi-final, France-Morocco. There were only 1,000, 2,000 French supporters inside that stadium. For a World Cup semi-final, there were more police officers on duty for that game than there were French supporters inside the stadium. We all know this has been arguably the most controversial World Cup of all time. Everything that happened 12 years ago when Qatar were awarded the World Cup, you were talking about a country which is a very, very small country. The population is 3 million. Only 300,000 of the people who live here are actually Qatari residents, citizens. You could fit all of them into the World Cup stadiums that they've built. Then we get on to the whole issue of the migrant workers. How many migrant workers have died building these stadiums? Look, this stadium behind me is a fantastic stadium. It is a beautiful stadium. But the people who built this stadium were getting paid £1 an hour to work in 40, 45 degrees heat. They weren't allowed to join a trade union. They live in a country where they have very, very few rights, where being gay is illegal. It is criminal. You can be arrested for it. And yet FIFA tell us that football is for everybody. It's about equality. It's about diversity. We've had the whole situation with the One Love armbands. Captains not being allowed to wear a One Love armband. Iranian supporters not being able to go inside stadiums wearing T-shirts that say women, life, freedom on it. So when Gianni Infantino says this is the best World Cup ever, I roll my eyes. As far as I'm concerned, this has not really felt like a real World Cup. Yes, I've seen some incredible games here. I've been here doing my job. I haven't been here as a fan. I haven't enjoyed it like I've enjoyed previous World Cups. But obviously what I feel is not really that important. What I do feel is the World Cup really shouldn't have been held in Qatar at all. And I know that that is a view that is shared by a lot of people, especially in Europe. But I would just finish off by saying we have to bear in mind, football does not belong to Europe. Football does not belong to Western Europe. Football belongs to Africa, to Asia, to the Arab world. And all the games that I've been to at this World Cup, there's been different kinds of supporters there, supporters that you normally would not see at World Cup games. So perhaps we shouldn't look at everything just from a Western European perspective, because football doesn't belong to England, it doesn't belong to France, Italy, Germany, Denmark. It belongs to the whole world. And the Arab world has just as much of a right to host the World Cup as anybody else. But when I read and report on the stories about migrant workers and how some people are dealt with and treated in this country, I just leave Qatar with the feeling that I had when I arrived here, that the World Cup should not have been here.
Kaveh Solhekol, our chief reporter, live from the Lusail Stadium. Thank you, Kaveh.